Men with prostate cancer need to become warriors. All right. I want to stir you up a little bit tonight, men, if that's okay, if I can stir anything up tonight, because a person who is part or belongs to PROSTAID Calgary is called a warrior. And I love that title. All right. It's a powerful title. And we have to be warriors. But before we talk about warriors, let's figure out what is a warrior. How do I become a warrior? Well, we got to look at the good old fashioned Merriam-Webster. And number one, this is a person who is engaged or experienced in warfare. Now, many of you are engaged in dealing with or figuring out this thing of prostate cancer, but many of you may not be experienced yet in how to do warfare, in being a warrior, to be experienced in the warfare of prostate cancer. Some of you might be, some of you may not. Some of you may be just checking out this on a video in a future video going, oh, this is like the guy's talking to me, but this was recorded a year ago. Okay, maybe I need to watch this video because I want to become experienced in this thing because I just got diagnosed and I'm just trying to figure this thing out. The second definition is a person engaged in some struggle or conflict. Well, that's why we're here, right? Because there's a struggle, there is a conflict in this war called prostate cancer, or even just cancer in itself, in whatever variations it has progressed, for lack of a better term, throughout the years. And so we want to, though, for tonight's sake, I'm going to be focusing on the how do we become experienced in the warfare of becoming a warrior to be able to apply the now what? How do I thrive in this thing called prostate cancer? So the first thing I want to talk about is warriors get trained. All right. And so I've got a little picture of a shield here because training is the shield to support those initial attacks, those fiery arrows, those negative thoughts, those feelings that come to us that go, oh man, oh, this is so much. It's overwhelming. I don't know what to do. We need that shield. We got to get trained of how to use our shield to protect ourselves and maybe our fellow family members and those around us. That's what I love about the shield concept. That's why I kind of picked more kind of Roman legion pictures, because the Roman legions were known and created some very strategic, tactical, modern warfare, for lack of a better term, of that time and day. One of them being they would use these styles of shields that were wide and long, and they would, one of them, yeah, fine, maybe you're okay. But you get 10, 20, a legion it was called, to be able to all surround. They were covered front, side, and back and top, and nothing would get through until they would get to the enemy line. And then look out, you did not want to be part of that part of the war because you were done for. All right, that's what the Roman legions were known for. Training prepares you, you see, for the future. Catch this, for the future, so you can live in the present. How do I thrive in prostate cancer? If you can just catch this line alone, hopefully this will inspire you to keep moving forward. It's prepare for the future so you can live today in the now. All right. Kind of like an old saying some of you may or may not have heard that goes, man, there is so much, worry and fear, and then the other person goes, well, dude, why are you so worried about tomorrow when there's enough worry for today? Got to live in the now and the present. That being said, in Warriors Getting Trained, I want to encourage you, if you have not watched some of the online videos provided by Prostate, granted, when I did watch a couple of the videos, got to admit, my legs did go cross every so often. It was like, oh boy, this is tough stuff. But but the more you watch, the more I was like, this makes sense. And if I was dealing with this or similar issues, there's some really good information that I want to encourage you as a warrior with prostate cancer to get trained and watch these videos. There is some good material on there. I'm very impressed. The next thing, hey, keep your appointments. This is part of that depression piece where it's like, I just don't want to go anymore. What's the point? Keep your appointments, but learn, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask the tough questions. Make your doctor earn their keep. Okay. Getting your affairs in order. Ooh, tough one. But here's the fact. You have a knowledge of a future event that's going to happen. And in order to stay in the now and present, we do have to be trained and prepared for the future so we can live today. So the sooner those affairs are in order, whether it's estate planning, getting the will actually updated or done, maybe for the first time, it's important to do those things, to get them in order. So that way you can live in the now and not worry about the, oh, I got to do that next week. Oh, I got to do that next week. Next thing you know, a year's gone, and that may or may not be a good thing. Not to add fear in this conversation. Hey, can't forget about our partners, our family members, children, whoever, wherever they're at. We have to allow them to be part of the training as well. If you are watching this video as a partner of a warrior who is, you need to become a warrior as well, to be trained, to also know how to answer, to ask these questions, to help live in the now. Because it's not just always the individual dealing with it. It could be the other person, your partner, that's also just having a hard time grasping with this. What do I do? Well, what happens when this, oh my gosh, everything as a child, yeah, we'll deal with it one day. But as an adult in the present, dealing with it now, easier said than done sometimes. But we got to allow everyone to be part of this. All right. And I'll talk more about that in a moment. Warriors get support. All right. And of course, the object of this with support is it's got to be the belt, which holds everything together. It provides support. Okay. I had a very odd job many, many moons ago where I was working at this glass manufacturing company, big, giant architectural glass. Well, they provided belts and kind of like I forget the terminology now, but like the shoulder belts and the waist belts that weightlifters use in order to be able to support the back, the groin, to be able to lift this heavy glass and go, wow, I'm stronger than I thought. No, the belt helps support to hold everything together. Part of support means warriors reach out and get the support they need. See, we are biologically wired, whether you're extrovert or introvert. In other words, people who like to be with lots of people. I just want to be by myself and deal with one or two people at a time. Either side of the spectrum, though, we are biologically wired to do life together in community, which means isolation is the secret enemy spy in the camp. If you want to know another technique of how to thrive, don't allow isolation in your camp. It means that even though I might like being by myself, I need to reach out and get support and be a part of people. I need to go to the June 2025 casino. All right. And actually be with other people, like fellow members, like fellow warriors, to be able to break the power of isolation in a person's life, which can be very easily to happen when, what's the point? Why should I even bother to continue? All right. Because isolation's happening. Unhealthy isolation. There is healthy isolation. That's another topic for a different day. Warriors develop healthy coping strategies. Healthy coping strategies are what I call the helmet to protect our head. In other words, specifically, what is often known as the prefrontal cortex, our thinking logical side, which the majority of men biologically and statistically tend to develop quite often. Okay. And we will talk a little bit about the limbic system, which is the emotion part, in a moment, but I want to just focus on this top part. And this is going to be a real practical hopeful takeaway to begin a conversation, to maybe look up some stuff online, ask for more information, all that stuff. Which, when we talk about our thoughts, I got a picture here of a washing machine that's spinning around. You see, I want you to think of a thought like that's running in your brain and it's beginning to go out of control. Oh my gosh, I got prostate cancer. When's going to happen? What am I going to do? What am I going to, see, this is the kind of thought that when you lie down at night, your brain goes on spin cycle. And if you're not on spin cycle, I can almost guarantee your partner is on spin cycle. What's going to happen? Oh my gosh, how long does he have? And when is this going to happen? And I mean, what am I going to do now? Blah, 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 blah. Spin cycle. What do we do with these out of control thoughts so I can thrive in this challenging circumstance? Well, we need to learn first and foremost how to challenge these thoughts. One of the ways that within therapy that has been proven over and over again to help support that, one of very multiple, many strategies, but the one that I like to share when I do these kind of presentations is what is known as Socratic